Hey y'all, welcome back. In this video, I'm going to show you how to make these absolutely beautiful beaded Christmas spider ornaments. Towards the end of the video, I'll tell you the story about the Christmas spider. Anyway, stay tuned, I'll show you how to make it. All right, y'all, let us get started. So we are making these beautiful Christmas spiders. I know that we all know the story of the Christmas spider, but if you don't know it, I'm gonna run it by you here just in a second. But the thing that I love about these spiders, you can make them any color, any size. There's just so many possibilities. When you go to the craft store and you look at the bead section, oh my goodness, how many of these you can make. But anyway, I got these beads from Joann's, okay? All of the beads. Every single bead I'm using here came from Joann's. They're actually having a sale on beads this weekend. So the way that I do this for the body is you want to find beads, and these came on a strand, okay? Where you have two main beads, okay? The big one is going to be for the body, and then you need one for the head. And you can kind of see the size comparison there. So just use your best judgment as to whatever size you want to use for the body. Now you're also going to need some bead caps. If your beads are not decorated like this, and they're plain. Now you don't have to have the bead caps, but I just think it looks a little bit better. And the bead cap is this part right here. See how it just gives it a little something something. Now a lot of people like to use a piece of wire for the body and the head. I like to use, get off of me. I like to use head pins, okay? Now these are 2 inches long, and what they are basically, if I can pick one up, I just spilled them. They're just these long pins, and they have a flat head. If you don't use these, then the little nose of your spider is going to be like a loop, like on the butt here. And I don't like that. So I am going to take this, and where did my bead caps go? Right here. Like I said, this came from Joann's, and there are several different sizes. So whatever bead that you're going to use, just find a bead cap that will fit on there. These are kind of thin. I just knocked one in the floor. And they can bend kind of easily around beads. But see, I'm just going to put that bead cap there. I'm going to drop that. And then I'm going to put on the bead for the head. And then I'm going to put on another bead cap. I usually do this like holding it down in my lap. It's a little bit hard for me to do this with my arms extended. So now you have this right here. That's the head. This is wood stain on my fingers. My fingers are brown. I'm a mess today, and I've got paint on my shirt. But anyway, okay. So now we have the bead going through the body and the head and our bead caps and everything. Now I have my round nose pliers here, and I'm just going to take this and I'm going to bend it straight over like an L. See? I just bent that straight over. And now I'm going to take that, I'm just going to bend it back to make a loop, and this is how you're going to hang it. Now, how do you hang them? You can use a piece of thread. You can use, you know, around Christmas time, you can find like glittery threads and all that. You can use whatever you want to. I have used Christmas ornament hangers, just whatever you want to, and loop it through that loop, and that's how you hang it. Okay, now you see that our bead is just a little bit loose here. You want that. You don't want it to be really super tight. Now for the legs, we are going to be using this beading wire. This is gold. This is, stop. Oh my gosh, I sound like Stuart from Mad TV. Stop. This is 20 gauge wire here. And I'm going to cut 4 pieces, which I've already cut over here because I've already tried to film this once and my phone cut off and I didn't realize that it had cut off. So I was sitting here talking to myself. I mean, I talk to myself anyway, but you know. So we're going to cut 4 pieces just like so. Now I cut this. I'm going to show you here in a minute. Here's the body and the head. So you want to cut these however long you want your legs, plus give it about another extra ½ inch, okay? because once you put your beads on, you're going to want to have enough on the end to curl over to hold the beads on. And you're also going to have enough so that we can twist it around the body, okay? So you want to cut these longer than what you actually want them to be. So now we're just going to bend it in half. This is roughly half here. Just going to hold that like that. Try to get everything centered here, like so. Now here's our body and head contraption here. You're going to put the legs on the body like so. You see how I just looped that around there? And now, like I said, this is a lot easier when I'm doing it off camera because I hold it in my lap. But I hold the body like this and then take the legs and twist around one good time like so. And then just grab the ends and pull tight. Tight, tight, tight. Okay. Because that is going to make it snug on the body and so that the legs won't wobble. Okay. Just really tightly. Now you see, this is the part where we twisted it. And then this is the part where it wrapped around. You see how that looks a lot more smooth? I like to have that part facing up. Okay. So now you're just going to spread out your wires and we're going to start adding some beads for the legs. This is just so incredibly super simple. Now the beads for the legs, use whatever you want to, okay? But I'm going to tell you what I personally use. I use seed beads, and these are a size 8. They're different sizes. These are a size 8. I have gold and red. And then I have some of these other beads. These just came on strands. Have like some rondelles here. Just different size of beads, different shapes. So you use whatever you like, but that's what I like. There's no size on the package for those, so I'll just hold them up to the camera. But I need some more of these seed beads, actually. Let's get this out of the way. I'm just going to pour some out here. Okay. And then let us pour out some red. These are just so really easy, and they're so cute. I love them. I have a collection, all different colors. They get really addictive to make. So the way that I'm going to do this is I'm just going to do gold, red, gold, red, gold. Okay? Gold, red, gold, red, gold. Just thread that on there. Right? So you have those seed beads on there. And now I'm going to put on one of these red ones. Let's see. This is kind of hard to see with the lighting and everything. Okay? So now we got the red. And now I'm going to put on more of these. Gold, red, gold, red, gold. So there's 1, 2, 3, 4. There's 5. Okay, 5 seed beads. And then your bigger bead. And then we're going to do 5 more seed beads. Okay. All right, so we've got that on there. And now I'm going to put on another red one. Like so. And now we're going to do the seed beads again. Gold, red, gold, red, gold. Okay, so while I'm threading on these beads, let's talk about the story. Actually, it's an Eastern European folk story, and there's several versions, as there are to most stories. So one of them is that there was this hardworking woman. She was a widow, and she lived way out in the woods with her kids in a tiny little hut. And one day, this was in the summer, a pine cone fell down on the floor inside the house, and it started to grow. And so the kids thought it was just awesome to have a tree inside the house. And so they kept taking care of it. And then as the tree grew, we're going to put a clear one on now. As the tree grew, they thought that they could decorate it on Christmas Eve for Christmas, but they couldn't afford it when the time came. So they went to bed and they went to sleep. And then when they got up the next morning, they saw that the tree had been covered with spider webs. And then when they opened up the windows to let the sun in, once the rays of the sun hit the spider webs, it turned them into silver and gold. And that is how tinsel came about. And then they used those silver and gold spider webs, and they were never poor again. So that is one version. So let me get these beads on. Let's see. Yeah, I got, what is it? Okay. So let's put on a red one. So this is a lot easier holding it in your lap. Okay, so you see what I have so far? I did the 5 red, 5 red, 5, and I put on a clear. I did a 5. and a red. So now I'm going to do 5 more. Had to get some coffee. And then the other one, the other version goes, a woman was decorating or trying to decorate for Christmas, and she was cleaning up her house. And as she was sweeping and cleaning, all the spiders ran up to the attic. And when they put the tree up on Christmas Eve, the spiders came down. They're like, oh, would you look at this thing? You know, this is so beautiful. And they went to investigate. Well, they wanted to live in the beautiful Christmas tree. So they just started spinning their webs all over it. And then when Santa came with the presents for the kids, he saw the spider webs and he's like, oh, you know, they're not going to like this to have their tree covered in spider webs. And so he turned it into gold and silver, you know, pretty tinsel. And that's how that story came about. So let's see, I'm going to cut this. I'm trying to decide. Right about there looks good. So just cut the end, and then I'm just going to grab it with my round nose pliers here and just twist it over to make a loop. And then twist it over. Hold on, let me get it back in there. Twist it over again and see how that makes a loop. And now your beads won't come off. Okay. So now you're going to do that with the rest of the legs. But anyway, let's go on to, where did my thing go? But anyway, the next one is a story about 2 mamas. One mama, she was poor, and the other mama was a mama spider. And so the woman went out to get a tree out of the woods for a Christmas tree. And she was poor, and the spider was struggling to provide for her babies. And when the woman brought in the tree, she discovered the spider in the tree, and she knew that because she was having a hard time providing for her kids, she couldn't turn away another mama having problems. So she let the spider stay. And in gratitude, the spider covered the tree with her spider webs because the woman couldn't afford to decorate it. And then the next day, when the kids got up, the tree was covered in all these sparkling webs. And that was their tinsel. So, you know, just a few different versions there. I like them all. But that's pretty much all that there is to these little spiders. You just bead all of their legs, and then you bend the end into a loop, just like we did on that first one. And like I said, to hang it, you just take this loop here on its little back side, and you can use Christmas ornament hooks. You can use whatever you want to hang it. Now with the loops on the legs, I have also seen people to make like little drops out of the beads and fasten it here. You can fasten charms to it, or as it's hanging, you can bring the front legs together and hang a charm, you know, between the two there. You know, just a different variation. But anyway, I'm going to continue working on my spider's little friend here, and that will be that. So I hope you enjoyed this video. If you would, please give it a thumbs up. Click subscribe. Check me out on other forms of social media, the links to all of which will be in the description box down below. And I will talk to y'all next time. Bye.